Okay. Cool. And let's have a look at some exciting MRTK buttons. Yeah. So this was about bounding boxes, but MRTK has a lot of examples. And you should just click on all of this and have a look what's really there. And the one that we are going to use is this hand tracking demo. Hand tracking, scenes, hand interaction examples. Double click. Yeah, this one is a pretty good and very comprehensive set of examples that you really want to deploy this and just navigate it and have a look. It's pretty fun. In this one, I'm going to make a copy, say hand interaction modification, save. Okay, and there are lots of different things, but what we are going to use is these buttons here. So here in this example file, okay, there are a lot of interesting examples. Later I will show you a recordings that I'm playing with this. But we can, in the scene contents, you can see that they are like grouped quite clearly. This is really well made one. So we are going to just leave this one and delete everything else. We don't want to mess up with anything else because this is good enough. So we are borrowing the world that they built. Okay, we do the same thing in MRTK toolkit. We need to make a new clone. Maybe I'm just numbering it, and then go to oh, I press cancel. Sorry. Clone. And then in the camera, okay. I think I mistakenly built this separate in the wrong order. That's okay. We add this. Yeah, and that's it. And we are going to have a look at this. So how do you, what is this button, or what are they actually doing? So let's play this. Say okay. But what happens is if you click on the piano, it plays the sound. If you click on this button, it changes the color here randomly. And all of these are actually buttons. You can get closer with the key WSAD. This is just for simulation. That won't work with your phone, obviously. Yeah. But right now, it's just different ways to display different types of icons, types of buttons with different icons and sizes. So it's a good example that you can actually, it's three-dimensional one. So we are going to use this one because they are more fun and nice looking. Okay. So here When you click on this, it's going to tell you where they are. So these sets are also grouped very cleanly. So these are called round buttons, and we are going to change the event on this thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring a 3D model that I made, and it's a house 3D model. Let me show you a simple video. Yeah, it's this house model, and I split it as per levels. And I'm going to use this button to let it display level by level. Of course, you can script them from scratch, but I shared the script with you. There's an error message here. Don't worry, I'm gonna also share everything with you. So I shared this. Script called display on click. I think it's in the folder. Okay. So I shared a display on click. Let me just make sure that this is the correct one. So I'm going to download it directly from here. Download it. I'm going to just double click to check. This is not the correct one, sorry. I should share another one, so I'm going to delete this. Please don't download this one. It's okay, but it's slightly different method. My computer became really slow. It. To upload this one. This one should be named. Okay, so this is the correct one. You go to the assets folder. We are going to create a folder called scripts. Double click, display on click, drag, and see, yeah, it's up there. I just upload it. Say okay. Say apply. All right, and we are going to import our house model, but the one that I split it into levels. So I also saved that on the Google Drive. It's called house level. It's a FBX file. So this is also, I wanted to explain you how to import and export the FBX file. So in the Rhino file, Rhino model, I kind of split it down into, let me show you this again. So I split each level into layers and make sure that each models are using material not as layer material, but as a object material. So each faces properly has materials assigned, and the material names are unique, so they are not just custom 1, custom 2, something like that. So make sure that you clean this up, and these will then come together with your layers as a layer name. And one thing is quite interesting is that FBX is also by default coming with cameras. So let me show you what's happening. So this is the FBX file. This was OBJ file. This is the one that I prepared in Rhino as FBX. Then once I drag this in here, if I say F, you can zoom extend, zoom selection. So it looks like that. And if you look at the hierarchy window, and if you just show all the contents, you will see the layer names coming from Rhino and the cameras coming from Rhino. And you see that because of these cameras, your game scene now became messy. It messed around because it doesn't find the main AR camera. So you need to delete these cameras from your scene. So you wanna right click and unpack it, but let me just put them in the correct position first. So reset and rotate this Y up. And I'm going to scale this small enough so we can see that from our phone. Okay. So your phone will become here, will be here, and then I will have my model somewhere there. Okay. Great. So I want to have this button to show each level one by one. And I'm going to now right click, unpack prefab, so I can modify. So I'm gonna delete my camera, delete. Also, make sure that the order of this is what you want. So if you had wrong order, maybe you had the third level somewhere on the bottom, then you can also move this one up. So you can manually shuffle them, but the order of displaying will follow this order that you place it. So for now, this is what I want. So I want level 1 to be displayed first, level 2, level 3, and level 4. Okay. Okay, and we are going to attach the script that we just imported to the house. So scripts and house level, and bring this script in there. And I'm going to, you can right click edit script to check if the one that you imported is a correct one. I'm going to quickly explain what it does so we can modify it in the future. Next, what I prepared was to maybe just show you quickly a set of videos that I recorded from Hololens testing different example files. So it's really important that you know what are the available things that they provide. These are the videos. Can fast forward some of them. So that's what you will see in HoloLens. You can navigate through different things, and if you deploy your own, you will see that kind of icon made with Unity. It's loading a little bit slow, but you can see all these things. here is what I'm trying to interact with it. So they all have some physics, and you can actually work with both hands. You can also show the visibility of the mesh that is following your hand gesture. Also allows you to record. These were the bounding boxes that we tested earlier. Use both hands to scale and move. Back. Yeah. Okay. And for some other examples, so this is MRTK example hub where it shows all the examples that they provide, which is what you already have, what you can already find from the examples folder. So here I can try few of them. I'm trying few of them. And you can see what are the interesting features you can work with. Yeah, this is what you can grab and use to kind of create sections to see different geometries inside. So basically, we don't really have to know by heart every single aspect of these examples, how to build them from scratch, but if we know what are available and what's useful for your own project, and you go to navigate to the right example file and use it, I think that's the most pragmatic strategy, at least for me. And these are the ones that I was talking about. These are the example materials that the MRTK provide. You can see that they provide some really interesting materials uh, to make the look of the geometries more holographic sometimes, more like Tron-like. Some edges are expressed, and colors are using gradients, and the lightings also. If you, I don't know if you noticed that some of them, when you are pointing on it, it also highlights with different colors. So I think those are interesting aspects. Um, of course, this one is sound tracking.
Put this
and eye tracking. This is
there.
not probably.
Put this there.
So what this is doing
Put this
is checking where you are looking
there.
at and
Put this
using your sound
there.
as command. Yeah.
Put this. Put this.
Or this is eye tracking.
Explode.
If you are using mobile, you are not interested in this.
Explode.
But just to
Code.
understand what's there. So basically, HoloLens 2 has eye tracking. HoloLens 1 doesn't have eye tracking. This one you can use in mobile as well. So it's how you can pin a set of menus, and if you don't pin it, it's following you, and you can pin it. So you can see the pin icon. If you unpin it, it follows your body. Follows where you go. Yeah, and so this example is showing how some sets of menus can follow your hand like that. Yeah, this one also doesn't work with Hololens, with mobile phone, but just so you can see what's going on. Yeah, so different. Yeah, so this is auto pin, so automatically pinning after your hand is not visible. Yeah. Fast forward this one. This one is another one about eye tracking, creating the heat map, tracking your eye. Of course, this is not. Yeah, because eye tracking is a new feature, so they made few examples to introduce how it's gonna. This one is also useful. So these are different constraint controls. If you see that this one can only scroll horizontally, this one only scroll vertically, and the other one was false. This one is showing how you can, how the extra labels are displayed. So you can see that these labels are only shown when you're clicking on it. This one is on when you press. This one is also usable in mobile phone. So if you want to have some extra label that you only want to show when they're used or when they're looked at or focused or when they're clicked on, these are the good examples that you can start with. And lastly, and these ones are pretty interesting. It's showing all different kinds of buttons, but here you can see that by progressing, you will see that when these materials or buttons are detecting the position and the location of your hand. So you see that this light that is specifically made, it's not just given. So if you see the first button, sorry. So it doesn't have the reflection. But the second one has reflection. Third one has also audio. Fourth one also changes the color when you after you press it. This one has something more on it. Yeah, it also changes the color after you release it. And all these are really important features for intuitive interactions. So you can actually let your app users to do something as you originally planned, so they don't get lost. Yeah. So all of these are toggle buttons. You can see how they display. Yeah, so all of these are interesting features where you can change the geometry, the way they look like, change the colors, and everything, make it into your own things. Let me see if yeah, so there are some slider examples as well. Sliders are pretty cool, and I really like the sound. That if you don't have the sound, you probably don't really feel like you're dragging. And this is also about
Come to me.
sound tracking and
Stand back.
eye tracking. What's really interesting is that when you look at it, it starts to rotate. And this one, you
Zoom.
can say zoom, and using your eye to
Zoom
pan,
in.
and using your voice to zoom in and out. And
Come to me. Back.
And lastly, this one is when you look at it, it automatically scrolls down this text for you. So that's also something that's pretty interesting. Okay. Okay, so these were some examples that are already provided by MRTK, and really, I don't really know every single thing, but I know if they are there, and if I need it, I know which demos that I can find. I think that's really good enough for you to understand. And yeah, so these are the example files that you can start with. And only thing you really need to do is you go there and change things. And for mobile phones, just change the mixed reality toolkit and go in there and find the camera profile. And that's the only thing you need to do. Yeah. So these were the basics of about MRTK, and we can take a small break, and then I can go to the next set of